You know the movie It? The scary clown who eats kids, the crazy clown who apparently always carries a red balloon. Well, despite reading various comments warning me to not watch this horrific movie, I wasn't gonna heed the warning. But just in case I got scared, I made sure I watched with both of my older sisters. Of course, I sat in the middle. While not everyone is afraid of the movie It, God bless your souls, fear is something that we all do experience. As a 2012 Psychology Today article puts it, fear was and is a primal instinct that is triggered when we perceive a situation as a threat. Our sympathetic nerve system activate rapid emotional, psychological, and physical changes. Me? When I heard that scary music in the background and saw that white kid slowly turning around, yeah, that was it. Fear can be traced to the start of civilization. We needed it for our survival. It protected us from things that we didn't know. But I'm not here today to give you a lecture on the history and evolution of fear, but instead ask you a question. Is our fear essential for our survival in this modern age? I'm worried that in society today we have a problem, a crisis, that we use our fear to justify the actions that we do onto others. But hopefully after this speech, you can come up with your own conclusions. In order to answer this question, we must first follow the red balloon to see the causes of our fear, then see the impacts of our fear are way more insidious than some killer clown. And lastly, come up with some solutions that don't involve kids being eaten, or at least hopefully not. The artist who created Pennywise purposefully gave him different features than ours. The crazy bright red hair, the vampire eyes, and sharp like nails. I mean, just look up an image of him and you can see exactly why I was so scared. He is not a human being. And I'm not the only one who's afraid of things that are different. In fact, we all are. It's the primary cause of our fear. Let me give you an example. A 2017 Pew Research Center article provided statistics about LGBTQ acceptance over the past years. Back in 1994, 49%, nearly half of Americans, did not support the LGBTQ plus community. The primal instinct of fear was triggered because people were afraid their social standards were being threatened. The Pew Research Center article highlights that in 2017, there was a dramatic increase of LGBTQ acceptance up to 70%. I mean, it makes sense. People in society today are more exposed to the LGBTQ plus community. And a report done by GLAAD, Gay and Straight Alliance Against Defamation, shows that there was an increase of LGBTQ representation. From 2012 to 2013, LGBTQ representation on TV was at 22%. From 2017 to 2018, LGBTQ representation rose to 40%. And I'm not saying that the struggle of LGBTQ acceptance is over. I'm saying that with the increased exposure to the LGBTQ community, there was a rise of acceptance and a drop in fear. After watching the movie It, I was paranoid. You ever think that you see something, but in reality, it's nothing? Once I woke up in the middle of the night because I saw a scary clown in my closet. My mom helped me feel better by telling me, "Pero hija, no hay un payaso." My fear, scary clown in the closet. Fact, it was just some colorful purses stacked up together. And unfortunately, we are all afraid of what we think we see. And the impacts are way more detrimental than some killer clown. In 2005, Professor Keith Payne from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill conducted a study about weapon bias. Participants were either shown a black face or a white face, then either a gun or a wrench. Participants were only given seconds to name what they saw. a deadly gun or a harmless tool. When participants saw a black face, they were more likely to say they saw a gun, when in reality, there was none. This study epitomizes the impact fear has. Split-second decisions and unintended stereotyping towards marginalized communities. And it's not just an abstract study, it's George Zimmerman. He was scared of what he saw. A black boy in a hoodie. In Zimmerman's mind, he needed to protect himself from something, so he ended up killing an innocent 17-year-old boy. However, it's not just Trayvon Martin. It's the police who thought they saw Tamir Rice holding a gun. It's the politicians who see the migrant caravan. Fear, they are invaders. Fact, 7-year-old Jacqueline Calma Quinn died as she waited on the border. Our fears have allowed for this vicious cycle to continue that is unjustly targeting marginalized communities. And this vicious cycle has directly impacted my family and me. Fact, I am daughter of Mexican immigrants. Fact, my father was deported when I was in the 5th grade. Fact, my mother had to work tirelessly to make ends meet and feed her 3 daughters. To many, my family is seen as a threat. The politicians and media portray people like my parents as drug dealers or people who want to steal jobs. And unfortunately, my father was the victim of someone else's fear, who saw the color of his brown skin carrying out the trash can and decided in merely seconds to label him as a threat. It has been 8 years since he has been with his family here in the US, all because someone thought he was a threat. Like my mom is able to show me, there is no need to be afraid. There are some ways we can redirect our fears. One way we can fight our fears is by taking the Harvard Implicit Bias Test with 14 different biases tested. This study is in place in order for us to be aware of our biases towards race, gender, or sexuality. In addition, we can all turn to social media to diversify the people we follow online. There is no quick way we can destigmatize our fears towards marginalized communities, but it doesn't mean we can't try. Fear. Who knew it can cause so many things? It's a powerful emotion. But fact, it's nothing we can't stand up against. So the next time I decide to watch a scary movie, I'll have to realize that Pennywise doesn't actually exist. I mean, at least I hope not. And neither do our fears about each other. And the sooner we realize this, the better it will be for everyone. And that is a fact. Oh.